the coaching staff that they've been able to build from the Sean Desai moment, the Matt Patricia moment, to the Vic Fangio crew. I mean, Fangio, Clint Hurt, Bobby King, Joe Casper, Christian Parker, Roy Anderson. It goes on and on. Jeremiah Washburn. They've made sure that if we're going to build this defense this way, we got to have the right people in place to not only coach but teach. Speak on how important that is to try to balance that between somebody who can call the plays but also can employ the right people to teach and develop these guys.
Well, you look good. A guy like Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio has always been a teacher, and that's why he left. He left Miami. Miami was a older team, and it felt as though they knew it all. You know what I'm saying? They didn't need his coaching style. They need to be told what to do. He gets out of there. He comes up here. He gets a young defense. They went from being the oldest defense before he got there to having the youngest defense in a matter of one off season. That just goes to show how Howie just totally flipped the roster. Then you turn around, you get these guys in a locker room. You have to teach them your defense. They didn't know what they were doing. They had two defensive coordinators the year before. He teaches them his defense, spends the time, breaks it down, and what does it do? It puts people in a position where they can play faster, play more aggressive, and not worry about anything because they already know how to play the defense. He's taught them how to play. That coaching style that he used was very effective to get these guys to play at a fast level. Zack Baun comes in. He didn't know that defense. He coached them up, got them to where it was second nature to him. That way he was able to go out and make plays. There were times being zone, they'd be in zone. His zone would be in the flats. There's nobody out there in the flats. Why would he go out to the flats? Well, 2 years ago, that's what they would have done. I got to be in the flats. I'm going to go into the flats. And then they're running everything underneath. Instead, he doesn't see anybody in the flats that could be, a threat to him. He fades off, is able to pick a pass off because he didn't just do exactly what the defense told him to do. He left where he was supposed to be at because there was nobody there. Why cover nothing when he can help in the pass? Those are all things that come with learning and understanding how to play the defense. You look at everywhere that Coach Fangio's left. When he was with the 49ers, two of the best linebackers in the league, two of the best safeties in the league. Why? Because Willis and Navarro Bowman, those guys made sure that they knew exactly what to do and how to do it. Dante Whitner, Whitner, he wanted to call him Hitler, but he said the best thing that he learned from Coach Fangio is just to listen, learn, and draw from the knowledge that he had. It made him a better player. He could play the game faster because he knew exactly what he was supposed to do. These are all things that, players think that they know too much. You never know too much. You've always got to be evolving. You always got to be learning. As soon as you think that you know everything, that's when you really understand you know nothing. So it was great for him to have that have that young team on the defensive side of the ball that he can nurture them and get them and put them in great positions to be successful. Even when he was with the Saints, he was the linebacker coach. He had the best linebackers in the league. We're talking about, Swilling, all those guys, Mills. I mean, those are the best linebacking cores ever put together. As long as you're sitting back and learning his defense, learning what he's telling you, it makes you play faster because now you can read and react and do things at a high level because you know what's going on. You understand what you're supposed to do. You understand what the defense is supposed to do. You understand what the backside is doing if you're a defensive lineman. The linebacker knows what the safeties are going to do because he has to call the plays and know what the front line is going to do. All of these things make you a great defense because as long as you know what to do, you can play faster.
And that's what stood out to me about this defense all throughout the year. Obviously, they took their lumps those first 4 weeks. They had the bye week in week 5. And then from week six and on, that defense just took off like gangbusters. And the thing is, we saw a sliver of how good that defense can be, I believe, in the week 3 matchup against the Saints. We saw a microcosm of just how dominant, how shut down they could be. Then they had the setback against the Buccaneers, and then they doubled back week 6, and they just took off from there. I mean, everything you're saying, the communication, the trust, execution, chemistry, guys knowing where they're supposed to be more than anything else, guys knowing when to freelance, when not to freelance, being so confident in the scheme, being so confident with Vic Fangio's, being so confident when he's teaching that you're not out there thinking, you're just reading and reacting. I think going into that season last year, we all talked about, okay, we know the offense is going to be what it's going to be, right? You ask Saquon, they should be a top 5, top 10 offense easily, right? But the defense, because they were so bad in 2023, I think in 2024, a lot of us just said, hey, if you could just be average, then you got something going with this team. They were the number 1 defense in football. They went from being arguably one of the worst and one of the oldest to one of the best and one of the youngest, right? Walk me through at which point in the season where you said to yourself, oh, no, this defense is for real.
It actually started out the first game. For them to go in the red zone and just give up 3 points when Jalen threw an interception, put him in harm's way, and for him to come out with just 3 points, that'd have been 7 the year before. Them gaining understanding on how to play his defense allowed them to start playing faster. And then when you take Avonte Maddox out of the slot corner position, you put in Cooper DeJean, bigger, stronger, and faster player, young player, but took the time to learn the defense the way he's supposed to, and the confidence that Vic Fangio showed in him and threw the catch a sink at him, and it didn't waver. He didn't waver at all. Once he stepped on the field at that slot corner position, that whole defense took off. They were able to run whatever they wanted to run because they had really good defenders out there. I mean, from day one, Quinyon Mitchell was the starter, and he played that way. I never seen a young kid come in and play as well as he did. And I played with Bobby Taylor.
The confidence was booming.
Oh man, it was crazy how good this kid was. And Bobby came in, when I came in, we were both, second round picks for the Eagles. I started and he started. And he didn't play. Man, they brought him in to stop Michael Irvin. Quinyon could stop anybody in the league. They stopped even throwing to his side. So for him to trust those young guys, put Cooper DeJean at the slot corner position, and let him grow, take his bumps and bruises, and just ball the way he did, it really had that defense the ability to take off now. Before that game, those first 4 games, teams were going out playing, pitch and catch, because they played so far off the ball. Well, then he had that confidence in them. They started coming up and playing tighter defense. When they played tighter defense, they were rerouting receivers. They were taking that first read away because they're so good and understood what to do, that it changed on how these teams were trying to, pick on that defense. And from that time forward, they just took the game over with. Those 2 young kids and a veteran and Slay just took it over. It was hard to really go out there and have a decent passing game, because now that gave the defensive line a chance to go make plays. That's exactly what it was. And once they stopped putting Huff on the field, I'm sorry, man, but and he's going to have to play this year, man. And I hope that he, takes his head out his ass and starts playing now. It's not like you stop learning how to be a pass rusher. I think he was so
he looked like he never confused. To me, he looked like he never quite fit in with the team.
Right.
Now, granted, Fangio had him standing up a lot earlier in the season. Then he finally was able to put his hands in the dirt, and that's when you saw him starting to really get back on track. And then he got hurt. So I still think that he has something, but there's rumors circulating that he may be on the trade block if he's even tradable with that contract coming off that season. I don't know how.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Is.
Yeah.
So
didn't need playoffs. He might have got what? He might have got what? 20, 30 plays in the entire playoffs. Yeah, he paid this kid $51 million, man.
Yeah, 34 guaranteed. Last year's contract and this year's contract. This year's it's guaranteed. So at this point, you're already paying him, man. You're already paying him. I just have a hard time believing he's as tradable as people think he is. So I'm foreseeing him being on this roster. But overall, you're right, though. This defense, the confidence that Vic Fangio was showing in them and the confidence they had in each other was just insane. They had a really good balance of veteran leadership and youth as well. And a lot of these young guys that came in kind of had like this veteran feel to them. Cooper and Quinyon had like this. They seemed like they've been there before. They felt seasoned, just their personalities, how laid back they were, the confidence in their ability. That really stood out to me about them. But that Super Bowl, man, I got to pick your brain about just how that game went defensively, defensively especially because last time we spoke was the offseason last year, and a lot transpired leading up to that moment. A lot of people felt like the Eagles going into the season, right? This is the funny thing about people going into the season. You never heard super team. Some people had this team not even winning their division. Some people had them not making the playoffs. When they signed Saquon, they didn't put the same respect on it that they give it now. Obviously, Zack, Baun, and Mekhi Becton, they were shots in the dark, right? You can't really foresee that. But with this roster as it was currently built, nobody said super team, but they did what they did in the regular season. They did what they did in the playoffs. That defense was very dominant. I mean, I want to say in the playoffs, they forced 10 turnovers in the playoffs, like 10, 11 turnovers. But even the 4 games prior to that, I think they forced like a grand total of like 12, 13 total. They were on a heater defensively going into that playoffs, and what they've shown throughout the playoff run, holding Green Bay to 10 points, holding the Rams to, I believe, 22 points. Well, 20 points offensively because they got 2 points off of safety, but holding their offense to 20 points, holding the Commanders to 23 points, right? Then you go to the Super Bowl and you hold Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid-led offense to 22 points. I mean,
no, there was 0 points going to the third quarter. In third quarter, it was 0 points.
Yes, there was a point in the game where it was 24-0.
Yep.
And then a point in the game where it was 34-6. I mean, the defense was locked down. Walk me through what you saw in that Super Bowl. What was your perspective? Did it go exactly how you thought it would go? Just give me all the emotions and the feelings and the perspective you had from that day, man.
Well, you know what? I can say this because I'm a man of my word, and all I kept saying throughout the season, like, let's start from day one.
Okay.
They played in Brazil on September 5th. That first Monday, the game on Thursday. That first Monday. Oh, they played on Friday, right? Was it Friday they played?
It was a Friday game, I believe.
Yeah, it was a Friday game.
Yeah.
That Monday, I have a show called Birds Huddle from 6 to 6:30, Monday through Friday. I'm on Birds Huddle, and I say, look, the first Monday, I know this is game week. I'm hype. I'm ready to rock and roll. But I'm telling y'all right now, if the Eagles allow Saquon Barkley to do what he does, if he can win the rushing title, the Eagles will win the Super Bowl. I said, if not get to the Super Bowl, he's going to win the Super Bowl. And I said that 17 games in a row, all the way through the season. Saquon wins the rushing title, they're winning the Super Bowl. I kept saying it. And you can go back through and watch the shows. I said it every single week. They got tired of me saying it. And everybody looked like I was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a clown or something. And then everybody caught amnesia about me saying that. Even during the playoffs, I said, man, they are playing at such a dominant rate. I said, this Super Bowl is going to be, they're going to murder them in this Super Bowl. I said, this is not even going to be close. Once again, people looked at me like I was crazy. I said, yeah, they're going to beat them by double digits.
Mm-hmm.
They are a better team than this Kansas City Chiefs team. They're going to beat the hell out of them. And they kept telling me, oh, it's the coaching. It's the coaching. Man, it had nothing to do with the coaches. Andy Reid was not on that field. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes wish he'd have been out on that field. Maybe he could play tackle or guard or something. You know what I'm saying? Try to stop them boys up front. But they just knew that they were just going to totally dominate. When I talked to players throughout the week, the Super Bowl, and they kept telling me, B, it's not going to be close. B, they're going to kill them. We are going to totally destroy this team. They should not be on the same field as I am. That's what the players are telling me. That's what they're saying to me. And then when I said, everybody looking like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know something. So then when they do it, now they're like, now everybody gets amnesia that I said that.
I'm with you.
Come on, man. I just tell the truth, what I say. Just like I would tell you guys now. Right now, it's March 21st. This is my brother's birthday. March 21st. This is what I'm seeing. I really think that Jalen Hurts is going to step his game up and be the quarterback of the future. He will win the MVP this year, and they will make it to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not going to be as confident as I said they're going to win it, but they will be in the Super Bowl this year, and Jalen Hurts will be MVP this year.